Why, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages. My name is Mr. Dogboat53, and welcome back to Hearts of Iron 4,000 Week Reich as a Union of South Africa. In the last video, we went ahead and we put the Communist Party into power after overthrowing the white government and then overthrowing the provisional ANC government. Lots of overthrowing. Very messy affair, but it worked out well for us in the end. Now we have all this political power coming in. No stability. We have horrible stability right now, but we'll get around that. Hopefully, we'll find a way around it. Ruth First is killing me right now. But these other guys... Moses, you're not the best either. Yeah, we just got Moses kind of chilling here. It looks like, Heinrich got a little cucked out of all this land. Oh, the British are investing in us. That's very interesting, I gotta say. I'll take it, don't get me wrong. Since we're getting that boost, let's see if we can't get that accelerated. It's not even going anymore, so it just, will combat their influence. And in the meanwhile, let's get working on class war, not race war. A critical error shared by both the ANC and the Pan-Africanist Congress is emphasis on the abstract African. While the Communist Party has long been a vehicle of equal representation of all races, it should not use the subject of race to retain its control. Instead, the Communist Party should shift their attention towards the pressing concerns of class warfare, an excellent distraction from the many racial divides of South Africa. I think we'll save up. We'll go ahead and get working towards mixed usage. That helped us out a fair bit. I realize I put the worst, probably the least needed one up top, but okay. You do your LARP Hydric if you want. And while it looks like the Perm Soviet government's gonna win, I just don't think the East has enough to really do anything there. Some steel making going for us. Prime Minister Gatskala. Interesting. What do we want to do? Let's do mass production. I like it's rid of mass white flight at least, which is nice. Okay. That monthly population hit is fucking terrible, though. My god. Yeah, that's bad. Well, you gotta break a couple eggs to make an omelet after all. I can't upgrade at that. We could do limited conscription, though. Could we do something else here? Let's do Harry Berighazi. Anyway, Marxism-Leninism in Africa. With the victory of socialism in South Africa, new South Africa rises, guided by the ideals of Marxist-Leninism that have been battling against fascism and capitalist tyranny in Europe and Asia. As Marxism takes its hold in Africa, we must not be completely beholden to its form in the global north. Material conditions dictate that a unique path towards socialism to be taken that follows the tenets of Marx and Lenin but adapts them to our local conditions. This larger rural, underdeveloped land, a focus on rural peasants, as well as a recognition of the decentralized and diverse nature of Africa's ethnic groups, must be integrated into our new ideology. The fight against colonialism must be at the core of our mission, as well as the uplifting of the African peoples towards a position in which we can bring about socialism. Marxist-Leninism with African characteristics will be formulated and spread across this continent. This will be a great struggle. You are telling me. I'm trying to decide between these two. I think the Socialist Federation sounds the most interesting, so we'll probably do that. Let's get working towards the Bureau of Public Safety. Nationalists are constantly threatening to endanger the workers' revolution. In order to protect the revolution, the Communist Party must form a dedicated group that would ensure the longevity of the Marxist-Leninist cause. Sure. Well, this is what I signed up for, so I shouldn't get any buyer's remorse now. Oh, we still have a Governor General. That's so funny to me. Frederick Claude Sturrock, a Scottish immigrant to South Africa. Sturrock served in Jansen's cabinet as a Minister of Transport and briefly as a Minister of Finance. During the Herzog government, Sturrock and Hofmeyr both resigned from Herzog's cabinet as a sign of protest against a controversial appointment to the Senate. Well, we're number 16th in GDP. It's actually quite impressive. That helps out a fair bit, actually. I'll take that. The revolution may be victorious, but must now be safeguarded by force if necessary. As experiences elsewhere are shown, capitalists, counter-revolutionaries, and traitors lurk everywhere, plotting their revenge against the liberation of the people. Our African revolution will be no exception, and we must be vigilant against such enemies from within. Some eggs may have to be broken in this endeavor to root out counter-revolution, but this is a cost we must be willing to pay. The utmost ruthlessness is required, and we will not shy away from using whatever force necessary to find and stop these traitorous elements in our midst. The new Bureau of Public Safety will act as a special secret service organization, given power of surveillance over the country, and empowered to target wherever it deems counter-revolutionary activity lies. We must preserve the revolution at any cost. There we go. Let's do mass nationalization next. From a private corporation to rich landlords, the state must launch a campaign of mass nationalization. It's time for the workers and peasants to seize the means of production. There we go. Ooh, we got new generals. That reminds me. They're not very good. The fact that the best one is a white guy is a little unfortunate. I don't know what that says. Let's go and get a field marshal going. Who do we want as a field marshal? Let's do... Barry Ghazi has a fun name. Let's give that to him. Polish Union membership, look at that. Let's give you charismatic. Probably do offensive too. I think we're going to be doing a lot of offensive stuff. Realistically. And now that I think about it, we can probably go ahead and get working on training up some guys. Getting some new divisions going. We're going to need a lot more anti-tank, but we can get that sorted out. We'll just start building more. And the Perm Soviet government seems to finally be restoring itself. Meanwhile, American Danzig. West Prussia, the 51st state. Well, it looks like they're doing all those declarations without having the troops there immediately. But I think they'll get that figured out soon enough. I don't think any of these guys stand a chance particularly, so. Yep, the Soviets are clamping down. As we will. I hope none of my neighbors heard that. Let's get working on the South African Socialist Federation. While all authority should still be retained by the Communist Party and its executives, the cries of the local populations must not be ignored. South Africa, with its many peoples, is a prime candidate for a federative system, one that is similar to that of London's Soviet Union. Looks like, we got cores in all of this immediately. Can I mute this? I can't. This might get the video claimed for copyright, but what are you gonna do? Also, what is Turkey gonna do? Kind of own a Soviet core state. That might not do well for him. I'm just saying. Look out, Turkey. We can do volunteer only. Let's do limited conscription. Let's donate some general supplies as well. Yep, the Soviets are just kind of doing their thing right now. There we are. So this is interesting. Looks like we just puppet a lot of guys. Are we gonna be able to... Where's our incursion options? I'll read this and then I'll mess around with that. Many political changes have come to South Africa in recent years through the process of revolution, but until now these have not been enough. A truly free South Africa requires a transformation not only of its constitution, but its entire society. The process is now finally underway as an overwhelming vote of the People's Congress has declared South Africa as a federal socialist republic with an explicit division and partition of the country into federal regions for South Africa's many ethnic groups. The idea of a unitary system has been floated, with the side that diversity of South Africa can only be properly protected and represented with a decentralized federal system. Socialism and ethnic, racial equality will be the tenets on which the new South Africa will be built, and we will work to bring about both dreams within this country and across the continent. There we go, so we get more political power. So do I have to leave the UN in order to do this stuff? That sucks. You know what I'm going to do real quick? Where is it? Incursion in Botswana. I'm gonna do these two real quick. The Anglo colonizers must be expelled from South Africa. Just get war goals on these guys. The incursion of Botswana. The so-called Republic of Botswana must not be allowed to exist for the sake of our national security. That would do that. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead and denounce revisionism. So-called suphasists and their fellow followers are nothing short of an insult to the Marxist and Leninist line. The Abomination from India is a textbook example of idiotic syncretism, a vomit-inducing mixture of national chauvinism and vaguely attractive socialist imageries. Working on more guns, more anti-air. Actually, we'll cut away from this because we need light tanks. Let's go ahead and get these guys added up to our army. How's our GDP looking right now? Still number 16. The Socialist Federative Republic of South Africa. Look at that. Now it's revisionism. This is fun. Let's sponsor some TT fighters. TT. South Mozambique, North Mozambique. Should support all of these fighters. And next, let's do the beacon of African communism. The most authentic and most seasoned communist party is undoubtedly the South African Communist Party. For our wisdom and our resources, we shall act as a shining beacon of African communism, one that other African nations can look upon. go. Indian Chile, that's going to be interesting. I'm sure nothing bad is going to happen from that. Alright, South African-backed elements have successfully infiltrated western Botswana. Good work. Is that it? That might just be it. Alright, let's get some generals going. Let's get... Do you want Potlaco or Raymond? I know that's not his name, but it kind of looks like Potluck, so I'm going to call him Potluck. Oh. So that's what that does. Okay. Reports from Botswana indicate that the militants backed by the South African government declared an open rebellion against the Botswana government, led by Motsampi Mfo. South African-backed People's Republic of Botswana has sworn to restore order to the illegal regime of Seretse Khama. Its former colony in Britain experts expect some sort of response from Westminster. Well, we must support them. Agreed, and that's why I'm going to go ahead. We're going to send Raymond over there. We could send 3. Do we need... We'll take one of the guys who's going to go into Swaziland. Alright, Raymond. Go get him, buddy. Meanwhile... Oh, no, we can't declare war while we have volunteers going. Until Ledger, these guys have 1 to 2 divisions. Botswana also has 1 to 2 divisions. In this continent, that to this day remains in large part enslaved by white colonial oppressors, the new South Africa must be the vanguard of the revolution. Just as the Russians led the revolution in Europe before they were cruelly betrayed by fascism, so too must we take on the sacrifice of leading the revolution in this equally oppressed land. We'll be the tip of the spear against the Europeans and their puppets, and we'll drive the white devils and their influence into the sea. Our foreign policy must be oriented around the freeing of Africa from oppression. We must work to support those who fight for Africa's freedom and build a network of light-minded movements across the continent, led, of course, by ourselves. The Internationale will be achieved. You can get a guy with a gas mask. Bukamoso Throne. Let's get Miss Throne there. Is she related to Charlize? Out of curiosity. Let's do industrial subsidies. There's much room to expand industry, but encouraging investment is a constant battle. As we work to incentivize investments and home from overseas, especially those investors more cautious about the risk of investing in South Africa, we'll offer generous subsidies, support private investment, and kickstart the growth of necessary industries. Sounds like a very good communist thing to do. Let's do it. Oh. Hold on. That's a little awkward. Oh wow, look at that. The revolution overcame the colonial oppressors. Incredible. This is what this is what happens when you believe in a revolution, guys. And there we go. And then we can display dissidents in bots in Madagascar. That sounds fun. Then we can ensure Botswana's loyalty. That is fun. In the meanwhile, let's go ahead, declare war on these guys. I know these guys. Right. Defensive line into here. You guys do your offensive line into here. Get her going. You guys don't have much to really do there, do ya? None of you guys really did. There we go. I was wondering what was happening there. That will occupy the land. We could do all these ASRs. I think instead, while we're here still, let's work on the Malagasy Civil War. Armed conflict has once again reached the island Madagascar. Although the Malagasy people managed to avoid the bloodshed ever since the successful Revolution of 47, a group of militiamen led by Richard Andriamanjato have proclaimed a national oppositional movement, referring to themselves as the Socialist Republic of Madagascar. According to reports, this rival government received extensive support from the East South African government prior to their general uprising. The South African government has announced her full support for this rightful Malagasy regime, following to provide them additional in an official state-to-state capacity. Additional what, I don't know, but it's a peaceful island set ablaze. Alright, Raymond, you get over there, buddy. Got a revolution to fight. The revolution is a genocide. My execution could be televised. Don't cross me like Isaiah, that should be ill-advised. I'm gonna stop rapping now. I don't think anyone wants to hear me rap particularly. When they spawn right. Keep our actions going over here. I'll go and do that. can keep supporting stuff like this. Seems. You know, real quick, I'm going to do this. And we can invite the Guinean government. So let's do that. Look at that. The Afro-Comintern. With the rise of a radical government in South Africa, many expect a significant change in the country's foreign policy, and these suspicions have been proven correct. New South African government to great fanfare, and with the assembled guests from radical communist and African nationalist parties across Africa, announced the formation of African Communist International. Announcing a new beginning for a new revolutionary Africa, the government consciously modeled its new organization on the old, now-defunct Soviet-backed Comintern of the 1930s, suggesting not only an alliance but a strong degree of South African control over the organization. Most significantly, the belligerent speeches about freeing Africa through revolution show that the new South Africa is likely to assert itself, work with local allies, and aim for the total expulsion of remaining colonial rule through force of arms if necessary. A new united front. There we go. Let's get you sliding in here. Yeah. There we go. Let's go ahead. Ensure Madagascar's or Malagasy loyalty. Oh yeah. Afro-Communists. That's just cool. Can we like these guys as a faction? No. I don't really know what else we want to do. We got Botswana, we got Madagascar. Hold on. We now have Namibia. I think all we can really do now is we might as well just declare all these. So let's declare Botswana ASR. Let's do Vazoza ASR and Vazulu ASR. And there we go. It's a little goofy looking, perhaps, but we don't need to do that in their land. Oh, this is what we got. Is this really doing anything? These the rebel stuff, because we're doing some uprisings in Mozambique, but those are just kind of getting crushed. I don't know if we have any... Yeah, these require you to be that you have to be Marxist-Leninist. So that kind of limits some stuff. Well, I think this is really all about what we can do here. Now, I didn't expect to go down this route. I figured I was just going to do what I usually do is the boring, wholesome stuff, because I thought that was all that was there. I didn't realize this whole thing was an option, but it was. And I thought that was very funny, very amusing. So, I don't really know what else we can do other than leave things there. There's not too much we can do. The Soviets are happy with us. The Americans seem content to let us be. The Brits aren't exactly friendly with us, but they're calling us scum, so they can suck it. And why are they so friendly with us? Trade part, Matt, that'll do it. That makes sense. China's indifferent towards us. Well, I don't know what else there is to do other than just kind of leave it here. I don't know if there's much else we can do. It doesn't really look like... Yeah, look, this is even going down. There's not much we can really do here other than... I don't think we can justify... Yeah, we can't even justify war goals at this point. So I think we're just kind of left to this situation. We have kicked out the colonial influences in directly South Africa. Portugal's still remaining, but that's just kind of a Portuguese issue there, I guess. They're just kind of doing stuff and continuing on. I don't know if there is a way that we can get this going. Maybe we wait a couple of years, but I don't think that's gonna happen. And honestly, I'm okay to just leave the series here. I'm glad I brought it back. It's been a while since I started this. I'm glad I'm able to put a nice little bow on this. I started uploading a Kaiser Redux series on the last order, which is like Kazakhstan. It's pretty fun so far, actually. And then once I'm done with that, or in the middle, I'm hopping into the new TNO update. So if you guys are curious on what's coming next, you can give that a shot. After that, I'll probably hop back into Kaiser Redux. Maybe do some Russian stuff. I'm not sure. Maybe some Australian stuff. I don't know yet. I do not know yet. We'll just have to wait and see. But thanks always for watching, my friends. I hope you enjoyed this video and the series. If you liked it, leave a like. If not, feel free to dislike. If you have any comments, feedback, leave in the comment section below. I read all the comments again, and I do appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Hit the sub button and the notification bell to keep updated with uploads as they come out. Thanks for watching. Like, so if you liked, dislike, if you didn't. I read all the comments I get, and I do appreciate any feedback you might have for me. Hit the sub button and the notification bell to keep updated with uploads as they come out. And I don't know if I'm repeating myself at this point, so I'm just going to leave things there. As I once again say, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye now.